Hello friends from the FHIR community. Today I'm going to show you FHIR Terminal, a command line tool which is a tool for quick actions, scripting and build pipelines on FHIR, and it helps you to get insight and control over your FHIR metadata. Let's start with a very simple example. I'm going to read an example patient, the example patient, from the HAPI server. And I am also going to read that same patient from a different server, from the FHIR server. You can provide your own aliases here and other URLs. So these are just example servers. And as you can see, I've pushed these two examples onto the stack, which you can show this way. And you can also get some insight into this stack by adding a query, and we use FHIR query language for that. I'll show you how to do it. FHIR stack, and then say from patient. These two are all patients, so select name.family and name.given, and let's take the first one, or the 0th one. There, and you can see that these two patients are actually not the same, even though they have the same ID. A trivial example, but it shows you to get some insight into data. Now let's go to a more serious example, which is validation. I'm going to see if I can find a package with the following canonical. There. As you can see, it found several packages, but we of course know that we need this package, which is US Core. So let's install that into this demo folder. It's pretty quick because it's already cached. And if you now look into the folder, you can see that there is a package JSON. If we look inside, you can see there's a reference to US Core. And with FHIR scope, you can look into the other file, which is a closure or a log file, to see all the dependencies. And you can see that US Core depends on two other packages. Now, let's see what we can do with this. I'm going to copy an example patient, a patient with one name and one given name in that called John. And we're going to save that as patient.xml. And let's see if we can validate this resource. There, it is valid, but it's also a very simple example. So now let's create another patient, which is not valid, because we have given it two family names. And as you might know, a patient may only have one family name. So let's validate patient 2. And there you see you have an error. Those two patients are on disk, so you can just provide the file name behind validate. Now imagine that you have a serious project instead of these two example resources, and you want to do some more quality control of them than to just validate. We have a feature for that, which also both exist in FHIR Terminal, but also in our server platform, our online platform called Simplifier, which we call quality control. And you can access that by using the command check and nothing more. As you can see, it has done several checks, parsable as FHIR resource, see if all structure definitions have a unique canonical, and then regular validation, in this case bulk validation of all your resources, and it found the same error as we found before, with even some extra data. We have more quality control here than just this one, but let's go straight to the next level by providing a rule set of your own. I'm going to write a simple YAML file, which is a predicate name.given.count has to be greater than 1. As you can see, count has to be greater than 1. And as you can see, this is the exact opposite of what the validation will do. So it's a silly example, but it shows you how you can create your own rule sets. Let's provide an error message. This is optional, but can be very insightful. And let's save that to patient.rules.yaml. Any file with this extension is valid as a rule file for the quality control. So let's now do check on the patient rule set. And there you can see we have found an opposite error because we have found a patient with only 1 or less family names. Okay, let's go to the next step. Snapshot generation. Let's clear the stack and the screen. And let's see if we can find the US core patient in the US core package by using resolve. And because US core is in scope, we can just find it easy. And there you go. Now let's see, using a query, what this resource looks like. We're going to look at the differential, and we look at the element count, and we're also going to take the snapshot count, and this resource does not have a snapshot, so that the second number should be 0, and there you are. Now let's do the snapshot on this resource. It will create a snapshot on the top resource from our stack. And there you are. And let's run the same query. You see it now has 84 elements in the snapshot. There you go. And for the fun of it, let's use a FHIR save from that snapshot. And let's provide some insightful names. Type dash name.xml. These two are FHIR path statements that FHIR terminal can use to save file names in a format that you like. And there you go. Here it is. If you want to see how this resource looks from the inside, you can use FHIR show, but it's a large resource, of course, but you can use it. So that was snapshot generation. Let's go to the next step, which is value set expansion. Let's see if we can find a nice set of resources from US core. So let's query our scope this way. This query feature is a paid feature, but it works the same as on the stack, which is free. And I've used the select the ID from any value set, and I joined that with the compose include system to give clear indication of what's in there and what's being used. So these are all the compose includes, and let's, for our case, use the US core condition category. And you can use a regular read command here, just like we used on the server just now, but now without a server, but within the scope. So we're going to read a value set, and we're going to do US core condition category. You could just as well use resolve and a canonical, but in this case you can use the ID. There you are. And let's see how this resource looks from the inside. As you can see, the compose has 3 includes, and the expand will now add actual values to them. So let's look again, show, and there you are, the values from the expansion. So that's this brief demo. There are a lot more features in FHIR terminal which we cannot show you in these 10 minutes, but the full list is here, and you can download it using or going to simplifier.net/downloads/FHIR terminal. You will have to install the .NET SDK first. That's a piece of cake. Okay, have a nice Dev Days. Bye-bye.
Hello, everyone. This is Sadhana Alangar, HL7's Director of Education. Welcome to the session on FHIR on the command line with FHIR Terminal. Martijn is here to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, please post them in the question and answer box, or you can also unmute your microphones and ask the question. Martijn, take it over from here.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Any questions?
I have a question. It's can you folks hear me?
Yes, we can.
But it's kind of a silly question. I just realized from your example that the human name dot family element has a cardinality of 0, 1.
Mm-hmm.
I would have expected something like 0, 2 to support, for example, Latin culture or Spanish cultural naming conventions. But anyway, that's just, I'm just surprised. I never realized before.
I think it used to be more, but I think the solution now is, and I see that Graham has already unmuted himself, so he probably knows more, but I think you can use extensions for Latin America and stuff.
We had a very long discussion with the Latin American and Spanish participants in the FHIR community about his family name and how to treat it. And their consensus was that we wanted one single family name and you just use a space.
Okay.
We had an archive of the discussion somewhere for that, but that was their choice.
All right. Interesting. It was a great talk, by the way. This is like the kind of stuff I would love to do.
Okay, well, I hope you can use it in a useful way. Any other questions?
Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Okay, no further questions. Any final closing comments from you, Martijn?
No, just I wish you all happy Dev Days for the remainder, and have fun.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that excellent demo. Thanks everyone for joining us. Please don't forget to rate the session. And if you want to ask questions, you can still post your questions and Martijn will be able to answer the questions later.
Yeah.
So at this time, I will end the session. This is Sadhana Alangar, HL7's Director of Education signing off. Bye everyone. Bye Martijn. Thanks a lot once again.
Bye-bye.